Track 1, Vijzelstraat. Track 2, at the Amstel. Track 3, Track 4, corner of Keizersgracht and Vlegenstraat and Prinsengracht. The Dutch word for canal is Let's just stand here for a minute.
My name's Justin Bennett. I'm English, but I came to Holland about 25 years ago. And I studied, in England I studied art, studied sculpture, but I worked a lot with sound. I was also involved a lot with music. So I was one of the first kind of generation of Soundtrackcity artists. It's not cinema, it's real life, it's really you're really out there on the streets, and you get these serendipitous combinations of things, you know, like sometimes you'll hear something on your headphones and you'll see something that fits exactly with what you just heard.
Saskia and Martijn adore Let's go and stand on the bridge. In the spring, they organise the Spring Snow event. And thousands upon thousands of elm seeds dance through the air and sprinkle on the water of the canals in the Amstel. They're fascinated by these dancing seeds which announce the coming of spring.
Ja, dat heb ik het is het is eigenlijk wel een soort dansen.
It's like a kind of dance.
Het is eigenlijk net alsof die zaak.
And it sort of makes you see the city in a different way, I think, because you start because you so much information, you start maybe listening more than looking. So a common thing that we hear after people have done these walks is when they take their headphones off, they start listening to the city in a different way because they're much more focused on listening.
I hear you've arrived at the Amstel. Here in the studio, we were just discussing the Amstel.
Because we thought, okay, that we should do something about the canals, because that's the kind of the backbone or the skeleton or something of central Amsterdam. And in fact, that's the kind of the most difficult thing about making a walk like this is to determine the route, because the route is it becomes the score. If you see it as a piece of music, it's like the score for the piece of music, but it's also like the curve of the narrative if you're writing the text. We talk about the secrets. I mean, it's more the hidden things, the hidden histories and structures, like what was here before, you know, what's really under the bricks and under the pavements and the roads, what's under the canals, you know, where did the canals come from? So this is kind of historical thing, but there's also there are also things like you know, when you're walking around cities and you're looking at the beautiful buildings, you don't usually ask yourself where they came from. You know, where did the money come from to build these? Because they're palaces. They're incredible, these buildings along the canals. And so they came from trade, but some of it came from slave trade. So, for instance, there's that kind of element that comes in at a moment, and it's something that you don't usually think about when you're walking around the canals. So it's kind of a little bit about hidden histories, or just, you know, focusing your attention on things that you wouldn't normally notice because you're looking at the typical things of Amsterdam. I've written a book about the Amsterdammers who built their palaces here on the canal. I want people to realise, as they look at these stately buildings along the canals, that many of these were built with money that came from the slave trade. It's mentioned in the walk, but you don't actually see it directly. One amazing thing about the canals of Amsterdam is that almost all of these houses have incredible gardens, but you never see them. There are lots of secrets like that. Although it's only audio, obviously the listener also sees the world around them, and you can actually kind of steer their view, because you can say, oh, look at this, look at that, or you can say, stop here, wait for it. Go and stand on the bridge and look at that building across the way, you know, and so it's a bit like you're kind of steering the camera.
Like visual, you can shut your eyes, but sound, you cannot shut your ears. So it's very, very direct, and you cannot escape. Yeah, Berlin we are just developing now. Istanbul, yeah, this is a special one because in Istanbul we have ticket to Amsterdam, and you cross the Bosporus by ferry, and you're listening to Dutch people crossing the Eye. So, and here we have ticket to Istanbul. It's the reverse.
Everything's attached to the beauty of the city centre. People here are poor. In the afternoon, they often never show you anything to eat. If I come back last night, the only tree on the bridge is the wind. It's amazing that I can live here.